Hi, my name's Dave Adams and welcome to Notes of Wisdom. Just something a little bit different today. This week was Reconciliation Week, and what that is in Australia is it's a week we set aside to consider both and acknowledge the past and for what was pretty much a horrible treatment of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that they received through colonialisation, and to hopefully look for a way to bring healing and a way forward for all of us, that we can genuinely claim our Australian identity as a unified nation. So it's a big process. There's been lots of significant activities that happen, significant events associated with it. We generally consider it a pretty important week to set aside, and in our school we dedicate a lot of activity time to considering this and hearing the stories of Indigenous people, first Australians, and trying to look at ways in which we can be part of that healing process and that we can be open to truth-telling, that we can look forward with a way of sharing our future together and for it to be a just and healthy future. One of the things I was tasked with was to make a video for our Foundation Day service, which happens on the final day of the week. It just so happens that our Foundation Day coincided with Reconciliation Week this year, and it was a really good challenge for me as someone who's trying to learn how to do all this. I could have just, cheated my way and done an iMovie, but I really wanted to try and continue my dedication to doing Premiere Pro. The challenge for me wasn't actually the editing, even though it was, and I'll get to that soon. But the real challenge was to actually go and film this historian, and it was not ideal circumstances. I had to make a video and then have a one-day turnaround to get that up and ready for the Friday. The actual trying to record the video was very hard. The guy was a strict historian. He didn't come to talk about reconciliation per se. He came to just talk about what some of the things that happened and some of the history of the area. So it was kind of hard to discern a thread that I could put together to make a video about reconciliation. But then I was also coupled with the fact that the environment I was in was we were in the chapel. It has doors that open both sides so that you can open up all the doors, which just lets sound flood in. So all sorts of things were really making this a difficult shoot, and I had to try and take this to put it together. So it turned out that I was also struggling with a sinus infection and wanted to take a day off that week because I was going to do a bit of talking on the Friday morning. So I took the Thursday off in the hope that I could get better, as it turned out, I ended up spending pretty much all of the day trying to put this video. In the end, it took a lot. I did a lot of editing. This is about a minute 50 at most, and it was well and truly over 10 hours of editing. I ended up taking some dialogue from another video which I will link to. It was put together by Sydney University, and it was one of those ask me anything sort of videos, and I thought it was a really good video, and I just took two small snippets to tail and top and tail the video itself, and the rest is actually this guy talking. And he uses so much stuttering and and ahs that I actually had to chop out a whole bunch just to get him to make a complete sentence. So it was a real challenge. And in the end, I also dumped a whole bunch of the footage. I just thought the footage was terrible, not really usable, and not really relevant. So in the end, I tried to just take his PowerPoint slides and to add them in. I took what was a 40-minute talk, cut it down to a couple of lines, a couple of sound bites, which I thought worked well. And something came to me in the process where we do an acknowledgement to country at most of our services, just the ceremonies. I ended up taking that and juxtaposing that with the images and the sound bites and putting them together into this piece here. The editing was a bit of a challenge. I'm still very much a neophyte in the ways of Premiere Pro. I could have done it way quicker and easier in iMovie. However, there was a few things here which I think I could do that I wouldn't have been able to do in that. So I'm pretty grateful that I did decide to go with this in the end. But anyway, watch, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. It's just something I was working on. It's all I had time to work on this week, so I didn't really get any other video done. But look, let me know what you think, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time, I'm Dave Adams. Ciao for now. Bye.
We don't own any land. We're with the land, we're one with the land. There's no ownership in our old ways.
Nobody usually thinks of Aboriginal people as still living in the same spots. We often think that our towns were founded by Europeans, Blythe, Nambour. A lot of the names of our suburbs, they're the names of where there used to be major camps. What happened to Aboriginal people? Well, in the 1890s, there was this move that not only do we keep them out of the towns, let's stick everyone on reserve, so it's real 100% segregation. Boundary streets, you all know boundary streets, so you see them everywhere. They actually were just a civic thing. Every town and every had a boundary. But what they were made for policing purposes. It was a thing not only for public order or whatever. It was definitely to keep Aboriginal people out.
I would love for all of Australia to be able to see how incredible and rich this culture is.